David Litchfield.
Stephen Lenton.
Welcome to the Book Sniffer blog.
Thank you.
There's no Emma today. I'm sorry that she can't be with us, but she's here in spirit, though she says hello, big hello.
Hello.
How are you? What have you been doing today? Tell us about your new book. Tell us everything.
I'm good. I'm all right. I'm in London today. I've had a very posh meeting with Penguin Random House. They took me out and wined and dined.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, we had I had chops.
You had chops?
Yeah, we went to a really posh place and I had chops. Anyway, we were talking about a book that I'm doing with Teresa Heapy, which is called well, I'm doing two books actually.
Yep.
One's called The Marvellous Moon Map.
Yeah.
Which is about a mouse and a bear who try and go to the moon. And then there's a second book in the series, which at the moment is called The Big Bright City, and it's about the same bear and mouse team.
Yeah.
And they go to the big city and go on adventures and things. And they're so charming and so lovely. And we just planned them all out, and it was a really creative meeting with chops and wine.
Great,
and
chops
stuff.
and wine. And so did you put stuff out? So did you sketch stuff out
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
table?
We looked a bit weird probably because it was really quite a posh restaurant.
Yeah.
We had all these kind of sketchbooks and layouts and stuff, and
yeah.
me drawing bears and all these kind of posh people staring at us thinking, what are these people
I'm sure you were having a better time than any of they.
Yeah, probably.
Move forward a bit.
Yes.
I look ginormous and you look tiny. Move forward. There we go. That's better. Because Helen Hancock's last week looked like a little.
Oh, bless her.
Munchkin. Now, can you tell us about your latest release?
Yes.
So you told us a little bit about what you're working on at the moment, but
yeah, that's
currently out
Yep.
in hardback is Grandad's Secret Giant. Look at that.
Grandad's Secret Giant. This is my second author-illustrator book with Francis Lincoln Children's Books.
Yeah.
It came out a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a little boy called Billy, and he has this kind of eccentric granddad who keeps telling him about this secret giant who lives in their town, and he does all these good deeds, and Billy doesn't believe him, and then it's all about kind of, can we spot the giant, can we see the giant in all these kind of scenarios, and it's all about whether Billy believes his granddad, and you know what kind of things happen with the giant, and how the giant kind of helps people without really knowing, without people knowing that the giant really exists. So yeah, this is my second author illustrator book. I'm really pleased with it. It was kind of quite scary doing it.
Well, I've got a question actually that leads into a question from Twitter from Helen Hancock.
Oh yes,
and she said, how did you find writing your second book after the success of book one? Because The Bear and the Piano was a huge success, wasn't it? It won the Waterstones Prize, it won all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's...
So if you haven't got a copy of that, make sure you do. It's really, really gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was scary. More scary than I thought it would be. I kind of understand when bands talk about second album pressure.
Book. Yeah.
Yeah. And I never thought it would be, but it was quite scary. But I think it's all right because the Grandad Secret Giant is such a different story.
Had you already sort of written it? Did you know that it was in your sketchbook or something?
No, it was. I mean, I have had this. This is one of the stories that I've had in my mind for about 4 years.
Right.
Like when I first sort of decided I would love to draw children's books or picture books or draw for children. This was one of the first stories I come up with. Grandad Secret Giant.
Okay.
And I actually, my first ever meeting with a publisher was with Francis Lincoln.
Yes.
And this is what I pitched them. I pitched them Grandad Secret Giant, and I had all these kind of spreads that I made, all these kind of development drawings, character designs. And they were like, yeah, it's not really ready. But luckily, I also had a synopsis and a sketch for The Bear and the Piano. And I kind of pitched that at the same time, and they went down that route.
Because the Bear book is it's a simpler story than
very much so.
Grandad Secret Giant's more involved.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Grandad Secret Giant, there's a few more twists, and it's set in a town, so there's a few more characters really, actually, and it's much more about family and so forth. Whereas The Bear and the Piano, it's probably a bit more of a straightforward, linear story. But no, so it's been a developing idea for 4 years. I mean, they were quite right to kind of turn it down. Like I was looking at, in fact, I've got the sketchbook here, and some of the drawings, they were really scary. And some of the
well, that's something that I wanted to ask you as well, because you were illustrating. you've only been illustrating children's books
Yes.
for a relatively short amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
and I wondered how you found developing your style so they're more child friendly, but
Yeah.
keeping your integrity and your line and your style,
Yeah.
but making it more child friendly.
Absolutely. Well, that was one of the things that I really learned from that initial meeting, and then also like learning whilst making The Bear and the Piano, all about kind of audience and how to kind of pitch these books, or you know where to kind of aim these characters. And yeah, I mean, I'll show you the first sketch. It's kind of horrifying, but this was like
An
the
older
giant.
age group.
This was the giant. He's like scary and naked and all kinds
Just
of
like
things.
a
that are
strong
wrong.
man from a fairground.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's kind of.
And now he's he's
And now he's
changed
much
to
more
that.
friendly and appealing.
Yes.
But also about just in terms of the narrative as well. Like it was a really it was like a very kind of. It was a completely different story that I had. It was much more about like Grandad meeting the giant, and it's almost like a prequel to what we got. It's like he meets the giant, and then they go all around the world, and it was just a bit. It was just a bit weird, really, and something that absolutely, you know, people would have struggled to really sort of pitch it to a younger audience. So yeah, it was. I mean, The Bear and the Piano was my first book, but it was a huge learning curve, kind of making that book and just working so closely with Francis Lincoln and you know my editor Katie, who was brilliant, and also the art director Andrew. I just learned so much from doing that with them, and
so there be. You sort of said that your original idea was a bit like a prequel. Says, are there any sequels or prequels planned for The Bear or the Giant book? 'Cause I feel like you could definitely take The Bear.
Yeah, well, actually, one of
else.
over summer, I'm actually I'm starting The Bear and the Piano 2.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, no, it's
excellent.
It's on the cards. It's on the table. So
I meant to ask you lots of bear questions all in one go, and I was going to call it Bear Grills, as in GRILLS. So I forgot
Kudos.
that. Bear Grills. Giant Grills doesn't work.
No.
Oh, that's exciting. So
Yeah.
wow.
So no, I'm really excited to go. But I'm sort of going. I don't want it to be like a.
Does it still involve a piano, or is it a different?
It still
instrument?
involves a bear and a piano, but there's also going to be other animals and instruments involved. And I didn't want it to go down a very, you know, and let's see what, you know, he goes on a tour of the world, so, which would be quite nice.
That would be nice. That's probably the third one.
Maybe,
the
yeah.
Bear and the Kazoo or something.
But no, I'm going down a slightly different route. So it's almost like it's the Bear and the Piano is in the background, and it's the story seen from a different person's or animal's perspective.
Oh, clever.
Kind of clever.
That's exciting. So is that already sort of planned? Is that scheduled to come out next year?
Yeah. I've done the rough. I'm going to tweak the rough slightly this coming week. In fact, tomorrow is my day to tweak the rough.
Friday.
Rough
Friday.
And then artwork should commence like end of June, July.
And so, speaking of artwork, we always ask about your process. How do you? We've seen some of your sketchbook work. How do you go from your sketchbook to finished artwork?
Okay, so I mean, sketchbooks are hugely important for me in terms of like planning and whatnot. In fact, look, here we go. This is my sketchbook where. Like there's so much rubbish in my sketchbook, and I just kind of do.
That's what sketchbooks are about. They can't all look perfect.
Exactly, and
mine don't.
But anyway, I like to doodle, and one day I was just doodling, and that's where I came up with the scary bear playing a piano, and that's kind of where the story came from.
Yeah, because the pose is sort of slightly
he's a bit more grizzly and a bit more. So, but yeah, I was like watching EastEnders or something, and I just was doodling at the same time. And this came out, and then I looked at it and I was like, that's really interesting. You know, you don't usually see a bear playing a piano.
The scale is lovely, if you pardon the pun, the scale of the scales.
Absolutely. But that's where the whole story from. I wanted to find out how this bear learnt to play the piano, what kind of adventures he went on and so forth. And that's kind of where the story sprung from. And then
so he was a sketch.
He was a sketch. And then, again in my sketch, but I think it's in this one, I kind of do like very quick, very, very quick and rough. I don't show these to just anyone, Stephen.
Okay.
But
we're honoured, guys. We're honoured.
But like, there's the original like storyboard sketches of the book. Like super rough, just a way of getting it out.
Tells so much though.
Yeah, and then from those I do a little bit more kind of structured rough, which aren't in any of these sketchbooks, but
Yeah.
something to. This is like my
Like Shakespeare would wear a structured ruff, or Elizabeth II. First.
And that's what I show the publisher. Basically, I would never show them that. Well,
Oh, do you not? Oh, I would.
I sometimes do, but I also say,
I'd save a
look,
bit
I can
more.
actually draw, and here's the
Yes,
proof.
yeah.
But yeah, and then yeah, so I draw it all with pen and ink, kind of very scruffily on sheets of paper, scan those in, and I like have a collection of textures that I make most of them myself. So I do watercolor washes, and I kind of do weird things like I'll walk around a park.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on, especially in the Secret Giant. There's a lot of texture going on.
Yeah, like some of those are like
Lighting
close-ups of
and-
trees that I've taken whilst out with my son in the park and stuff. And yeah, all kinds of photos of concrete. But then there's also stuff that I found and things.
Do you find it's quite tricky sometimes when there's a darker atmospheric spread, getting the text to fit and getting the backgrounds not too dark and getting the contrast?
That page there, I was back and forth with the art editor saying I need to make it slightly darker, slightly like over and over again.
That's my favourite.
Oh,
Look at
brilliant,
that. The lighting on that is just superb. So atmospheric. It makes me want to watch Robin of Sherwood.
Oh wow! Yeah, absolutely.
That is a compliment. It just the lighting and the forest and the
because like I really
magic.
like Steven Spielberg films,
Yeah,
and the way he uses light in his films is very much an inspiration for what I try and do in my books.
Really nice.
Like it's almost like the light kind of conveys an emotion all on its own.
So how long did each book take so far?
Oh wow! Well, The Bear and the Piano was my first book, and I was learning so much. It took me ages. It took me like a year probably, probably just under a year from the very first kind of drawing to the last one.
Yeah.
And I've had to speed up because I'm like doing more. So Grandad Secret Giant was probably about in all about 3 months, possibly.
Gosh, that's quite quick.
Is it? I don't know. Really.
I think it is quite quick. That you don't realise the more books you do, the less time you have. And the first one now seems like a luxury.
Yes.
Because you had all that time to develop a style and the text.
So no, I'm averaging about 3 months ish now.
Okay.
Maybe 4.
Oh, that's good. That's
maybe
really
5,
good.
maybe 6.
Now, something that I've noticed on your social media,
Yes.
You do a lot of events and you do a lot of beautiful window displays.
I love
do you love doing a window display?
I love doing the window.
Because you don't go small with these window displays.
No,
you paint a ginormous bear and a ginormous piano.
Yeah, well, I've done a few now. Like last year, I did loads of, and we did one in Liverpool. And I don't know if you've been to the Liverpool Waterstones, but they have this vast window overlooking the city. And I was just like, I'm doing that.
So I'm always too careful. I sort of draw around the book.
No,
so everyone can
I
see
mean, I
them.
just kind of, I should probably think of that. But no, I just go for it. And now I'm doing a couple of giant ones. Like I'm going to be doing the Piccadilly Waterstones in a couple of Sundays actually.
Oh right, what's that? Is that the giant, Grandad Secret
Yes, I'm going
Giant?
to do a big giant in the middle of Piccadilly. And yeah, I'm doing all sorts of painting on windows.
What do you use? Because I've only used markers. Give me some advice. I've used markers and they don't go very far. They're a little bit rubbish.
I sort of just for the bear ones.
What paint do you use?
I was learning while doing. Which is terrible, really, because I'm doing it on these big, expensive shop fronts and stuff.
Yeah.
But first of all, I was using they're called liquid chalk markers.
Yes, that's what I use.
Which was good.
They give you RSI though.
Wow, because you have to really give them a good old shake. But then I've realised that you can just use like poster paints and acrylics.
I didn't think
it's actually easier to wash off. But also, here's a tip that I picked up. First of all, if you buy acrylic paints from Wilko's, they're dead cheap.
Yes.
And also because I think they've been watered down and they come off a lot easier.
That's good. So you're still the bookshop owner's friend by the end of it.
And the cheap paints from Wilko's.
So David, can you tell us where we can find all your social media bits and bobs?
So I have a website, davidlitchfieldillustration.com, which has links to all of them. But I'm on Twitter as DC_Litchfield.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram as DC_Litchfield as well, as I think. I have a blog, which I love my blog. It's
Tinkerd@tumblr.com.
Yes.
Where did that name come from?
I was in a band with my friend Rebecca, and she can play piano, and it's really cool because I sometimes get her to dress as the bear.
Yeah, because you can't play. David can't play the piano.
I can play guitar a little bit, but I can play a tiny bit of piano, but nowhere near as good as Rebecca. So I get her to dress up as the bear sometimes, and we go on.
Maybe for the sequel, you need to start learning the piano. You need to dress up as the bear and start going.
Maybe. So That'd be good fun, actually.
Awesome. Well, David, thank you so much for coming on the Book Sniffer vlog. Good luck with all your new books. We're really excited about the Bear and the Piano too. I didn't know that was happening, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
mate.